Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
It's a great day. I'm Mark Imperial. For the past 7 years, I've scoured the globe looking for noteworthy experts, businesses, people, places, and things. On this special edition of the show, we'll meet some of the world's leading professionals in health, nutrition, and fitness, people from all across the country, around the world, and in your town. Welcome to the program. And my next guest on this segment is Jim Turner from shop.fullarmourinc.com out of Florida. Jim, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
Jim, tell us a little bit about your work and the types of people that you help.
Well, Full Armour Inc. is a sports performance, fitness, nutrition. It's kind of all wrapped up into one. I have clients ranging ages from 5 to 85. And I actually work with a lot of athletes, and the range is usually from middle school to high school. I have trained some athletes in the past, but my passion is kids and preparing them for their particular sport.
Tell us a little bit more about that. How do you find your clients, or more accurately, how do your clients find you?
I do local advertising. I have done some social media advertising, going through Yelp, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, that kind of thing. And then most of my clients actually are, I'd have to say probably 80% are word of mouth.
Right on. Could you give us an example of like an ideal client for you? Like what exactly are they looking for, and how do you get them started?
Well, they're all ideal, actually. My passion is helping people, whether it's, preparing for sports, or if it's just someone who's just learning to walking in after knee replacement. I've had numerous clients in both categories. Usually when I bring them in, we do an initial consultation, kind of pick their brain a little bit about what it is that they want from the experience. A lot of people there's a lot of misconceptions out there about what fitness means and what you can do to get fit. There's a lot of different definitions from people. You could ask 10 people, you probably get 10 different definitions of what fit meant. But I bring them in and give them an initial consultation, figure out where they're at. And then we just go through an assessment, a full body assessment. So battery of strength tests. And then there's, height, weight, blood pressure, body fat, BMI. And then we roll it all up and present it to them in a package, showing them where they are. So we have a benchmark for all those numbers, and then we proceed to prescribe, 2 days a week, 3 days a week, based on what their goals are, and obviously their own how many days a week they want to work out. It's obviously there's a financial commitment to that. It's not cheap. So people, that obviously affects some decisions. For the most part, I think most people want to try to do some on their own. So it's a fact of kind of blending the two. And then we go into a 7-day food journal while they're beginning the workouts with me. So I can see what they're doing, what they're eating. Even if they're on track, even if they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, I still like to see that. I have a great nutrition certification through Precision Nutrition, and endless resources where that's concerned. So I feel like I have all the tools to get anyone in any situation back on track as far as their eating habits are concerned. And then also, we also take into account, physical limitations, people that are coming off of surgeries or preparing for surgeries, that type of thing. And then we prescribe accordingly to that as well.
So you mentioned that a lot of people have different ideas about what fitness really means, because there's a lot of information out there. What would you tell them if you're working with your clients? What's your definition of fitness, and how do you clarify it for them?
That's a great question. It's it's funny. I've had I can't tell you how many people I've had come in and tell me, Jim, I want to lose 30 pounds, but I just don't really want to work out that hard. And without laughing at them, I just grin and sit them down and break the news to them. It just doesn't work like that. The bottom line is, if the person is capable and have been approved and released by a doctor to exercise, they need to really focus on getting their heart rate up into the 80 and 90% range and keep it there as much as possible. But the problem with that is it's uncomfortable, and a lot of people just don't like to be uncomfortable when their heart's beating out of their chest and they hear their heart beating in their ears. They freak out, and in very rare circumstances, I mean, a fraction of a percent, do people have a heart or have an episode that's a critical episode during exercise. So I think it's just the uncomfortableness of working out at such a high intensity. But that in and of itself does so many things to the body. It helps condition your heart. When we talk about conditioning, if anybody was to think back, if they played sports or even in gym class, when we would do conditioning. You would condition for the sport. In other words, you would get prepared to play that sport at a high level, and it would be conditioning your body for that. And fitness is no different. You have to condition your body to get the results that you want. If someone wants to lose a bunch of weight, there's a right way to go about it, and there's a wrong way. They don't need to crash diet. They need American College of Sports Medicine recommends 1 to 2 pounds a week weight loss. That way you're pretty much guaranteed you're losing only fat weight and not muscle mass. And the next biggest challenge, I think, is people is just to stay focused and not look at the process. I think too many people get caught up in the process of getting fit. They need to focus on the goal, so to speak, instead of the process, because nobody really wants to work out. I mean, let's face it, if I could come up with a pill and it could sell, I'd be the richest man in the world. If you could just take the pill and get fit. But it doesn't work like that. People have to really work hard, and it's about consistency. It's about working through it, even when you're not feeling like it. You have to find that conviction that you're going to do it. For me, my conviction is my kids, my grandkids. I want to be able to play with my grandkids when they're here. I want to be able to enjoy my life when I retire. I don't want someone to have to take care of me. And obviously, there's extenuating circumstances where things would happen to people that could, make that a different scenario. But for the most part, you're in control of that. And with God's help, staying healthy and staying fit and staying on top of it, and keeping your mind and your eyes on that end goal, that end result. Because it's the road you're traveling. You want to focus on the road. You want to focus on the destination. And I think for most people, they can just do that. That would really help. So I think when you start, we're coming up on New Year's resolutions. I think the last research showed it was 6 weeks. I think it was that someone would stick with the New Year's resolution, and that's not going to get anybody anywhere. So staying the course, keeping your eyes fixed on setting your goals. Goals are very important for me and my clients. I make them set short-term goals and long-term goals, and I focus every week, every month on focusing on those goals. Stay focused on those goals. I'm not feeling good. I don't know. I'm tired. I don't know about working out today. Hey, remember, we've got to get to this point at this time. Focus on that. Focus on getting in that dress you haven't gotten in 10 years. And that kind of, that insight, that focus is what gets my clients over those humps. And once they get past that, they start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Then it just becomes a way of life. It becomes a lifestyle. And I think that's key.
Jim, you sound like a real lifelong learner of the subject. What inspired you to get into fitness and nutrition? How'd you get started?
Well, I was very blessed. It's funny. It actually really all started being serious. That is, being serious and thinking about it as being a career. from an injury. And when I was a junior in football practice, I separated my shoulder. I got speared, and my shoulder took the brunt of it, and had a grade 2 separation. Couldn't lift my arm up for 2 weeks. Couldn't get it over my head for about 2 months. Went to Dr. Stan London, who's retired now. He's the doctor team physician for the St. Louis Cardinals, who were then baseball and football, and told me I didn't need surgery, just had to take care of it. And I got lucky. We had an athletic trainer that was there at our school, younger guy, wasn't much older than we were, just out of college, and he started teaching me how to recover, how to recuperate, how to rehab my shoulder injury. And it just took off from there. And then the next year, I was playing soccer, this indoor soccer, and someone kicked the ball out from in front of me, and I hyperextended my knee. So then I did a shoulder and a knee back to back. Didn't have major structural damage or anything like that, but that really gave me a different perspective. So now I had a shoulder, which you see a lot of people dealing with, especially as they get older, and knees, obviously, with knee replacements, sports injuries, a lot of knee injuries nowadays. So those two things really got me inspired doing. So I learned how to strength train, I learned how to rehab, and it just took off. I went to school at Southeast Missouri State University, graduated there, and I've been doing this as a career for almost 15 years, but I've been doing the work. I've been in the industry for over 30 years.
Excellent. How do our listeners, if they want to learn more about you and your programs, how do they find you?
Well, they can find me. They can contact me through my current website. That's shop.fullarmourinc.com. That's FULLARMORINC.com.
Jim, this has been terrific. I really appreciate you taking the time and coming on the program today, and I wish you continued success for yourself and for all of your clients.
I really appreciate that. Thanks for having me. And I also can get in touch with me on my Facebook page as well. It's probably the easiest place, and that's Full Armour Inc. On Facebook.
On Facebook. All right, terrific. Thanks again, Jim, and have a great rest of the week. My next guest is Matt Gines from the Breath of Life Wellness Center out of Newburgh, New York. Matt, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
Hey, Matt, tell us about your work and the type of clients that you help.
Well, my work is really just about helping people who want to get healthy, who want to maintain good health. Holistic health is really, if I had to put a category on it, that's really what I'm into. So just helping people with eating real food, with detoxing their body, managing stress levels, because that's huge. That's a huge issue that I see is, people are just overstressed, overworked, not enjoying life, sick from it, eating poisonous foods and just holding toxicity and just in horrible moods. So I help people with lifestyle, I guess you would say.
For people
so that entails,
people who are hearing about Breath of Life Wellness Center for the first time, can you give us a little overview about what the business is about?
Well, the business is really just about providing people with a safe haven where they can de-stress and detox their body, and leave here feeling better than when they walked in. So we have different services that people can take advantage of right here in the local community. We also have people who travel, pretty far distances to come see us because of word of mouth. A friend or family member has had a positive experience, and so they want to share that and pass that along. So we do things like ionic detox foot baths. That's, using a device, exposing them to ionic energy, which helps to draw toxins through the pores in the feet. So that's one service that we have. We have infrared saunas, which also help to purge toxins from the body and also pull stress and inflammation out of the body. We do raindrop technique, which is by certain massage using essential oils, helps to de-stress the body and balance you as physically, mentally, and emotionally. So different services like that. I do personally nutrition and lifestyle counseling myself. And then we have a wider range of herbal supplements and natural vitamins and minerals and stuff to help get people on the right track, to a healthy lifestyle. Okay, so that's basically it in a nutshell, and that's what we provide.
The folks that come to see you there at Breath of Life Wellness Center, is there a common challenge that you find most of them face?
I think the common challenge we find most of them face is, just not having enough time to take care of themselves. So you kind of almost get into like a therapy session with people. You try to get them to start thinking differently. That they do have time and they have tremendous power over their health. So that's kind of what we help people to realize. They have tremendous power and they can get healthy.
I know there's a lot of information out there, and it causes a lot of confusion to people about, what they should be eating, what they shouldn't be eating. Can you speak to that, and what kind of general advice would you give people in fixing their nutrition, getting on the right track? How do they get started?
Well, the thing I would say is it really starts in your kitchen. Okay, so that's a place where you can connect with the family. You can cook together. You can, fellowship together. Actually conversate and connect with human to human. I think it all starts in your kitchen, and a lot of times you need to purge that kitchen, to make it in line with your health goals. So just making sure we're taking out any kind of sugary foods, any preserved foods, any foods with artificial sweeteners, and we want to replace those with whole food, healthy, life-abundant foods. Plenty of fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, healthy fat. That's what I would say.
There's speaking of a lot of like information out there and information overload, have you seen anything controversial or crazy that you'd like to clarify for anyone out there?
Well, the main issue I see is, what really causes disease, and I think, and when you're thinking about, when you're speaking in terms of weight loss, right? I don't even like to use that term because I don't think all the emphasis should be placed on a number on the scale, but I like to refer to as fat burning, correcting the body's chemistry, correcting the body's metabolism, and we do that with using real food. The other thing I want to stress, is you don't have to fear fat. So, traditional healthy fats can be, our friend. And so that's the main thing I think, the true culprit of heart disease, any disease actually, is inflammation, and sugar. Sugar would be the true culprit in a lot of these diseases that we're seeing that are out of control. So taking a look at that is going to be the main factor, and not to fear fat, healthy type of fat. So that's those are the two main issues I would say. Then you kind of get into the idea of cholesterol and everything like that. There's some misinformation about cholesterol. I view cholesterol in a different light than most conventional doctors, I think, would. And, I just want to clarify that out. Cholesterol is essential for life. Our cells need it, our brains need it. We need it to produce vitamin D and all of the hormones in the body. So just kind of, clearing some of that stuff up and backing it up with scientific research.
I've heard a lot about, fat, good fat, bad fat, but I've never really wrapped my mind around which is which. Can you give us examples of like what's a good fat versus what's a bad fat?
Right, sure. So basically, yeah, this is a subject that we've been highly misinformed about. That fat makes you fat, right? Mm-hmm. So there are good fats and there's definitely bad fats. The bad fats, I would say, and then most Americans probably put too much of this in the standard American diet, would be, inflammatory vegetable oils, like soybean oil or canola oil. These would be bad fats because, number one, they're not stable, okay, and they cause actually mutated what you call trans fats in the cells, so they become rancid. And then they produce a lot of free radicals in the body. So then when you add high heat to that, you have the perfect storm for inflammatory pathways in the body. Now, those would be bad fats, and you would find, hydrogenated oils, trans fats, different type of oils like that, sunflower oil, where man has manipulated that oil in order to increase the shelf life of, say, these preserved foods like cookies and crackers and baked goods. So those would be your bad fats. The good fats we're talking about are traditional fats, things like grass-fed butter, okay, which was a traditional health food.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about coconut oil. We're talking about avocados. We're talking about mixed raw nuts like almonds and cashews. So those would be the healthy fats. Okay,
and what about
that would be the clarification.
Yeah, I appreciate that. What about when you said sugar? Like, is there any amount of sugar that's okay? Because we all love sugar. Do we have to remove all of it?
Well, I would say definitely become mindful, especially if you're reading labels of a lot of hidden sugars, so liquid sugars like commercial beverages and stuff. A lot of these things, you're getting in a 16-ounce serving, you're getting 24 to 28 grams of sugar. Things like Snapple and especially sodas and stuff like that. So I think you really don't need to watch the intake if most of your calories are coming from whole foods. You have natural sugar that's found in fruit. Okay, so and it's also intact with fiber. So if we're keeping most of the food that we're eating is healthy whole food, we really don't need to be mindful of the sugar. It's just when we're getting into sweets and processed foods, that's how we know our intake is much too much.
That's when we tend to overdo it, I see. So, Matt,
right.
how did you get started in your field? What inspired you?
Well, really, what inspired me is, working with my dad here. He got sick, and then he started, just becoming passionate about research in alternative medicine, ways to cleanse the body with different herbs, different things like that. And then I've always had a passion and an interest in food being medicine. So I definitely wholeheartedly believe that what we put in our mouth, that's going to actually is more than calories and flavors. It basically tells our cells what to do. So we can actually turn on different diseases, or we can turn them off. So it doesn't really matter if you're more prone to, say, heart disease or diabetes. You have that in your family history. It does not mean that it has to manifest. So the biggest power we hold over our health is our food and what we're putting into our mouth. So that's kind of what inspired me to get into nutrition and holistic health.
This has been really great information, Matt. How can our listeners learn more about you, get a hold of you perhaps, and connect? Where do they find you? Okay,
so they can go online to www.thebreathoflife.net, and they can also click further into, if they wanted to speak to me personally, they can just scroll down and you'll see my bio there. They can click on my bio, Matt Gines, nutritionist. They can also call us up if they have any questions, 845-562-4003. If they have any questions, they can email me direct, mgeatrealfood@gmail.com.
Matt, you have a lot of great information. This has been terrific. I really appreciate you taking the time to come on the program today. I wish you continued success for you and all of your clients.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me on. Thank you, folks.
On this segment, my next guest is Drew Devry from Freedom Fitness Gym in the Seattle-Tacoma area. Drew, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
Drew, I understand that you have a number of locations. Tell me a little bit about Freedom Fitness Gym and the type of people that you serve.
Well, we're a boot camp and personal training gym, so we have a focus on kind of being involved in everyone's business, so to speak, at the gym. So it's, people can obviously join the gym and just use the gym by themselves, like a normal gym, not be bothered if they'd like. But the vast majority of the gym members are part of the training program. So they don't necessarily have to figure things out for themselves. They come in the door. We've got, either they can join a boot camp class. We've got 8 different times throughout the day we run boot camp class, which is a combination of strength, conditioning, core training, circuit training style, high intensity interval training. And then we also do a spin-off of one-on-one training. I call it guided workouts. There's like 500 different workouts in the workout library. Trainer can go to the library, choose an appropriate folder, and grab a workout for the client that would match their needs for that day, and then basically just guide them through it. So,
for our listeners, who's the type of client that's attracted to your type of workout? Who are they, and what are they looking for?
The majority of the people that come to the gym, I would say the vast majority are people just looking to lose weight, really. I mean, that's the biggest segment of the market out there. Most everyone, if you ask them what somebody goes, well, I'd like to lose weight and get in shape. Mm-hmm. And that's really what we see the most of. And, it's people that either A, don't really know what to do in the gym, or B, don't want to spend the time figuring out what they should be doing and realize that they can't get stuck into their own routines. So, hey, why don't you tell me what to do, something that I don't normally do, because I know I need to switch it up.
Have you found that people come to you after they've tried a bunch of stuff on their own? And if that's the case, what is their biggest obstacle or challenge that keeps them from getting success?
Yeah, definitely. We've got a lot of people that have been, I guess, banging their head against the wall, trying to figure out how to take things to the next level. And also people that just, they want, interconnectedness, like that inner culture type feeling, the small community feeling of a smaller gym, where, if they don't go to the gym, someone might send them a text message or Facebook them saying, hey, I haven't seen you in a while, I'll miss you at the gym. And that's not just from the trainers. We do that, of course, too. We get to know a lot of our clients very well. But, the other members that are at the gym, we all kind of hold each other accountable. And that's what I've found that people really desire is having that, not just going to some mega gym where there's just one more person, trying to figure out how to use the machines and maybe running on the treadmill, maybe taking a class or two, but they're just part of something different when they come to a smaller gym like Freedom Fitness.
So when they come to you, for example, for personal training, what would you say are the 2 or 3 most common questions that you get asked from your prospects?
So the questions are really, as they're trying to choose, do I want to be part of this gym? They're wanting to find out what level of assistance is available and what the cost involved is on that. Because usually you expect with, being part of a personal training program, you're going to be spending $60 an hour. Maybe the company does 30-minute sessions. So, okay, maybe you're spending $30 a session for a 30-minute. But, in give or take $5, that's usually what you're going to pay. So they're always interested to find out if this is something they can afford long-term. And the way I've structured it, they can. $140 a month. You've got unlimited boot camp classes and guided workouts. Unlimited, every time you walk through that door, we're going to help you. So that's, one of the main questions is finding out if they can afford this long-term. Doing 10 sessions with a one-on-one personal trainer is expensive, and it's not something long-term. I think people realize that you can't just do something for 2 months and expect long-term results. You've got to find something that fits into the budget. And the other thing would be nutrition. People don't necessarily have too much of a clue on how to eat, and they hear conflicting things all the time. Oh, you're supposed to eat this because it's good for your weight, and you're not supposed to eat this because it's bad for you now. Mm-hmm. Like, well, what's correct? What am I supposed to do? And so we include nutrition with every membership. I'm a certified nutritionist, and my trainers, I've taught them a lot about nutrition, and I'm always coming out with new programs, new takes on how to present proper nutrition to people. So, that's included, and those are some of the main questions that people want to know, like, what do I get out of being part of this?
Yeah, speaking of food, I hear a lot of talk out there and a lot of people saying, a lot of gyms saying, like, Yeah, we eat real food. Now, I understand they're talking to other trainers that understand the lingo, but for your average listener that may not understand nutrition and fitness and how it works together, what exactly do they mean by we eat real food?
To kind of give you this is where I always start things off. There are 3 things that make people gain weight.
Uh-oh, did I open a Pandora's box or go down a rabbit hole? It sounds like. Go ahead, hit me.
This parlays into what, eating real food is. There's 3 things that make people gain weight: processed food, sugar, and alcohol. So, on your journey to losing weight and getting in shape, you just need to write those 3 things down, put them somewhere you can see them regularly. People understand, okay, I'm not supposed to eat sugar. I'm not supposed to drink alcohol. They're going to make me gain weight. I get that. Mm-hmm. Okay, but processed food, that's kind of like okay, yeah, I can see, they might not have thought about that before, but, once presented to them, okay, tell me more. I can see how that could probably be a problem with my body. And that's where the whole real foods thing comes into play. Mm-hmm. Processed, prepackaged foods contain ingredients that are foreign to our bodies, things to give them shelf life, things to make them, cheaper to make. These ingredients our bodies see and say, whoa, what's this? And we gain weight from it. And so, one of the prime examples is artificial sweeteners. Mm-hmm. People drink Diet Coke and gain weight. How is that possible? There's no sugar in there. Mm-hmm. Well, it's quite possible and very real. Chemical additives and processed food make all humans gain weight. And there, of course, is that, 1% of people out there that no matter what they do, they can't gain weight. And so, but, we can't talk about the one guy that eats McDonald's food every day and never gains weight, because that doesn't count. He's just one of those weird outliers. Everyone else gains weight from processed food.
Yeah, and so he's the kind of guy that creates a program on the everyday McDonald's diet, and nobody can have success with it but him.
Right. Yeah, exactly. We can't use him as an example. He's on the outside fringe.
He's an outlier, yeah.
Right, but real food is where it's at. If you're not making your food, you're not going to be able to lose weight. So, grabbing the microwave meals that say that they're good for your health and they qualify. You look at the nutrition label on the back, and there's not a whole lot of sugar in here at all, and it's low fat. This should be really good for me, right? No, it's just going to make you gain weight. I'm sorry to break it to you, but you're going to gain weight eating those. At least you're not going to be able to lose weight eating those. So we have to teach people how to make food. How to buy whole food ingredients and make meals out of it. And then along with that, the other important factor is teaching people how to meal prep, because it takes you 10 to 15 minutes to make a whole foods meal. If you try and do that for every meal out of the day, you're spending at least an hour a day making food. People don't have time for that. They don't want to have time for that. But meal prepping, it doesn't take you really any more time. If you're going to cook one serving, just quadruple the ingredients, you've got 4. It didn't take you any more time, but now you've got 4 meals that you just made at once. That's the trick, and that's what we try and teach people how to do.
Okay, so meal prep is part of your programs there.
Mm-hmm.
So what about the alcohol part? How does alcohol make you gain weight?
Well, so most people can understand, okay, there's sugars in alcohol, it's added calories, liquid calories. One of the things we always say is, don't drink liquid calories, just drink water. Mm-hmm. You should be fine with water. If you can't just drink water, okay, fine. Have tea, put it on ice. That'll be fine. There's no calories in there. It's just, herbs. Anyway, alcohol not only adds calories and sugars, and of course makes you make bad decisions like eating foods you shouldn't eat late at night. So there's that aside. What most people aren't aware of is that one of the main stages of fat metabolism in your body, burning fat for energy, is your liver. Most people do know that alcohol affects their liver. Mm-hmm. Drinking a toxin that needs to be filtered out of your body takes precedent over burning fat for energy. So if you drink alcohol and it takes your body anywhere from 24 to 48 hours to filter all the toxins out, I mean, basically your liver's got one arm tied behind its back trying to burn fat for energy for the next 24 to 48 hours. And, it's just fat metabolism taking a back seat to clearing out toxins, which it should. Let's get the toxins out of the system. They're delicious toxins and they make you feel wonderful, but that's the reality.
Oh, right on. Hey, you have a lot of great information. I think I'm going to have you on again, but being mindful of the clock, I just had a couple more questions for you. Like, Drew, you've been doing this for a while. You said you've had your gyms for like 8 years. What got you started? How did you get into fitness and nutrition?
It was mainly because I didn't want to have to get a real job. To just be completely frank with you, I got out of college. I fell in love with working out when I was in college. One of my roommates showed me how to work out properly, showed me how to, eat, before, like, oh, you got to have a protein shake after you work out, man. And like, these kind of things. And I was like, wow, I mean, I grew muscle out of nowhere. I'd spent time in the gyms before, as I was in high school and first couple of years of college and didn't really see much results. And then I had someone who kind of knew what they were doing show me, and boom, results. So I was like, oh my gosh, I got to learn more. So I was already down the road in my major, but I took 1 or 2 classes in exercise science and learned a little bit after school. I got graduated and started going to shirt and tie interviews and just thinking to myself, I don't know if I'm ready for this. And I decided, I'm going to become a personal trainer. I love being in the gym. I'll get a real job later. Turns out I absolutely love helping people. It just gives me so much energy. It's a true passion for me. Like I say, I love working out and I really love helping people. It's just so gratifying to be able to do what I do every day. And it just fueled the fire inside me. And I've just been pushing forward ever since, just trying to grow it and reach more people.
Hey, no better accountability and staying consistent than turning, what you love to do working out into a business. That must be really rewarding. Hey, Drew, how do our listeners, if they're in your area, learn more about Freedom Fitness Gym and connect with you and check you out?
It's simply enough, freedomfitnessgym.com. Our website has plenty of information, and there is a handy video right there on the homepage on the very top that was very well done by a friend of mine who put it together. Tells all about Freedom Fitness, what we do, kind of gives you the 3-minute bird's eye view of what goes on in the gym and the programs we run. So they can just hit the website, freedomfitnessgym.com, or check it all out.
Hey, Drew, this has been terrific information. I really appreciate you taking the time and coming on the program today. I wish you continued success for Freedom Fitness Gym and all of your clients.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time to have me on.
That wraps up another episode of our Health, Nutrition, and Fitness Special Edition. If you know a remarkable expert, business, person, place, or thing that we should feature on the show, drop me a line on my email, radioguest@markimperial.com. That's radioguest@markimperial.com. Until next time, I'm Mark Imperial. Take care and make it a remarkable week.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.